Sunday, man. I know you're nervous for the Rams, but you got to be a little enthusiastic after being there.
Bro, that game atmosphere was ridiculous. The energy, the electricity. That place was rocking. Anyone was there, and a lot of the Super Buck fans were there too. The Bucs.
Tampa Tones. We are joined by lead goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little clear. But we're joined by Pat Donovan.
It looks like Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like we got a little...
No, my camera's broke.
Howdy ho, howdy hey, how the hell is everybody? Welcome back to a very, very fun edition of the Buccaneers. I'll put it mildly, to say the least. We got a lot to go over today. A little thing called schedule release happened yesterday. Many of you may have heard of it. Many of you may have seen the leaks for the past 7 days now. So it's all finalized. It's all crunched in. Our girl Olive stopping by saying, hey friends, hello Olivia, hope all is well. But this is a time of year where guys like Zach, J-Lo, myself circle the games on the schedule and the plans begin. The plans start. The fun is beginning and the wheels are in motion. And we also have a celebration on our hands as well, which we'll get into. A new Buccaneers Ring of Honor member to celebrate. That's always fun. We haven't had a player inducted into the Ring of Honor since 2019. So we'll get into all that and more on today's Buccaneers. Without further ado, time to bring in the great man himself, Bucs by 30. Zach, how the heck we doing, brother? How you feeling about the schedule and everything going on?
Doing well. Thanks for the introduction. You're always far too kind. So I appreciate that. But excited to get into this these topics today and chop it up a little bit with you fellas.
Yeah, so I know you're eyeing a couple games, and I can't wait to hear about those games. And I know you, like me, are a big fan of Simeon Rice, so we got a lot of fun to get into on today's show as well, as Christopher Cole shouting out the big 97 already. J-Lo, happy birthday to your little one. How did that go today? How's everything going for you, sir?
Thank you, Tones. Appreciate it. Everything went well. Took her to zoo Tampa, got some sun. Felt good to put my head in the little, water pad area, because it was quite, toasty outside. But it was great, man. Like I said, it was a good little birthday celebration between my daughter and I. And I'll never ever, turn my back on that. But for the most part, let's talk Buccaneers football, man. Schedule's out. I'm excited. I'd be excited for that.
We're already getting hated on. I'm seeing one guy. Let me see this guy. This guy said Bucs are going to be in second place in the NFC South at 8-9. That's according to Jarrett Bailey, who's an NFL writer for USA Today. So once again, we're already getting slept on. This is nothing new. This is 2024 all over again. But briefly, we're going to start off by honoring the man, the myth, the legend himself, the big man, Simeon Rice. And if you guys watch it, we're going to talk about it as well, the Bucs schedule release video. I know some people loved it, some people hated it, but with love-hate aside, there's a very hidden gem in there, a little nugget that kind of portrayed potentially Simeon Rice being a Ring of Honor member. When Gruden was going through the schedule, the Arizona game came up, and he paid homage to Simeon Rice. And when you look at Simeon Rice's numbers, are definitely not only Ring of Honor worthy, they're potentially Hall of Fame worthy when you get to the, details of his numbers. So, Zach, it's an honor for Bucs fans whenever a Ring of Honor member gets inducted. Again, we haven't had a player since 2019. It may not seem like that for a couple of reasons. One, Arians was inducted, so, that takes a spot. Two, Gruden was ousted and then, re-inducted under the table, kind of. So, couple more shenanigans there. And then three, the Bucs have had a lot of Hall of Famers since then, and they also honor those guys when they get inducted into the Hall of Fame. They put the little Hall of Fame banner next to their name. So those guys are already honored, but those kind of feel like Ring of Honor inductions all over again. So it might felt like we've had players since then, but Zach, Simeon Rice, Do you think he's the man to be the first Bucs player into the Ring of Honor since 2019?
Yeah. I mean, you can make an argument for Hardy, right? Hardy. And I know a lot of people are talking about James Wilder, but, as much as I like James Wilder and the contributions he made to the team, when you stack him up historically with other running backs, I mean, it's really not that impressive. It's more, we haven't really had a lot of production from that position.
Right.
So I think that is what, plus I think people are real sentimental with Wilder. But yeah, Rice definitely deserves a spot there and should be in the conversation for the Hall of Fame as well. When you talk about, 100 plus sacks production, Super Bowl ring, I don't even know, what are we talking, 5, maybe 4 or 5 Pro Bowls? I mean, come on. How's a guy not even in the conversation?
It's sad. And, to me, the NFL is the one. Basketball's a joke. I'm not even going to get into the basketball Hall of Fame. No, you got college people and have your separate Hall of Fames, your college Hall of Fame, your NBA, WNBA. That's all great. But when, that'd be like NFL sharing one with the UFL, with the CFL, it just doesn't make sense. So NBA aside, I feel like NHL and MLB set a high bar for who gets in the Hall of Fame, and NFL does too. But to me, they're a little more expansive. And the fact is that Simeon Rice isn't in as expansive as they are. I mean, nothing against some of these guys that got it in years past, but to me, they've let in some fellas, especially defensively, who have been borderline. The linebacker from Mills from the Saints a couple of years back, the D lineman Kennedy from Seattle. These are great players, but to me, if they're in, Simeon Rice deserves to be in, but definitely the Ring of Honor. So yeah, James Wilder, his name's mentioned all the time, and don't get me wrong, he was a great running back, but as Zach alluded to, it's kind of more of the not the biggest field to choose from, more so than his greatness. And again, he was really good for a couple of seasons. But it's like the same, and this isn't a knock on VJ. It's the same thing when people talk about having his number retired, things like that. Yeah, he was really good for a couple of seasons, but it's not like he was next level generational, which is what's needed for the Ring of Honor, which is why Simeon Rice is getting in, J-Lo.
There we go. Couldn't agree more. Simeon Rice, well deserved. He should be a Hall of Famer. It's a shame that this has been going on for such a long time on the Hall of Fame, but we'll go Ring of Honor. Well deserved. The guy was just a monster getting up to the quarterback. He was a complete headache. I mean, the guy just got really, underlooked. No one really cared about him in the Hall of Fame conversation, but I'm glad that finally he's in the Ring of Honor where he belongs. I'm looking forward to whatever game they choose, which I think will be Arizona, which will be a good one to pick.
Because he was a Cardinal too, remember, ladies
before he
and
came
gentlemen.
over. Before, we gave him that bit of money, and, he went out there and he earned it. He went out there and helped us win a championship. So, shout out to Simeon Rice, enjoy watching him on and off the field, Even the locker room, he was a locker room guy, well respected. A lot of players really respected him for what he, brought to the locker room. If I'm not mistaken, let me go back in time here a little bit. Gruden put him in charge during the Super Bowl to chaperone some of the Bucs players, make sure they get mishaps and stuff like that. I believe from watching one of the history, from what Gruden did with Simeon Rice. But at the end of the day, I'm happy for him, and just another great butt that belongs in the Ring of Honor.
And the fun fact with Simeon, Joey Nips, member of the Weekend Show, usually he's a Colts guy, obviously. He actually ended his career with Indy and Denver, a couple short stints, nothing notable. But I remember when I had my Bucs Simeon Rice jersey, I'm like, hey, you could borrow this now. The Colts did that with a couple of guys. They cleaned up Booger McFarland and Simeon Rice as well. But the thing I love about Simeon Rice, he actually went to U of I, which is in Illinois, obviously 3-hour drive from me, not like it's around the corner because it's in the cornfields, but it is in Illinois. So it's always fun to see a guy who came from a college, let's be honest, U of I isn't that great, a guy who came from a college that isn't really supposed to do much, isn't supposed to really be that hyped, and here he is into the Ring of Honor. And to me, maybe one day Veterans Committee type stuff gets him into the NFL Hall of Fame, but we'll see on that. And Simeon Rice, we're honoring you. We truly are, and we love greatness. But some people don't like greatness, and I'm seeing it on Twitter today, and I'm not going to mention names, but before we get into the schedule release, I just wanted to address this quick. People are doubting Evans Godwin Bucs wide receiver room again. I see reporters, radio people saying, and we do have our guy Rich T checking in, dude. Monsters checking in. How we doing? Stooges Tattoos, what up? From the Monster Squad. How we doing, Stooges Tattoos? Always great to have great people in here. Rice is life, a buck for life. That is true, but not going to mention names. I had a nice back and forth this morning because somebody tweeted they lost sleep last night because somebody tried telling him that the Bucs wide receivers are a better duo than the Eagles and the Cowboys. And for those that don't know, CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, Cowboys wide receiver room, Eagles, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, two very good wide receiver rooms. But at day's end, the Bucs are right up there in terms of they're all arguable. Nothing worth losing sleep over. But J-Lo, quick 30 seconds or less seems like another year. More media. They're predicting us 8-9. They're predicting our wide receivers are going to fall off. Nothing new for the Bucs, J-Lo.
No, I mean, haters are going to hate. They're going to hate on our receiving group. They're going to hate on our team, whatever. But look at the continuity with Mike and Chris playing together. You tell me another team that has that same duo since, 2017 or 18, since they've been playing together? You tell me a continuity of that to any fans that wants to question our receiver room between Mike and Chris. They're studs, but only the real Bucs fans know what we got in Chris and Mike Evans. I mean, that's just pretty much the way it is. And like I said earlier, continuity. They've been playing together for a long time.
And not only Chris and Mike, but now you factor in McMillan, you factor in Ibuka. It's a depth of the wide receiver room. You still got Sterling Shepard. And then you got a pool of other guys for wide receivers 6, 7, whatever the case might be. Zach, briefly, thoughts on yet another offseason getting slept on, like J-Lo and I were alluding to?
Let them sleep, man. I think Jason says it best when he keeps his receipts and then he posts them after the fact and just so let them sleep. But anybody that's trying to put Dallas's Pickens and Lamb over Evans and Godwin, man, you don't even know yet. Pickens hasn't played a down in Dallas, so how can you even try to put them above anybody else, even above the Eagles receiving room? Pickens is a good receiver when his head's in the game, but what happens when CD starts getting all that targets over there, and now he's pouting a little bit and he's not doing his thing, So I wouldn't include Dallas's receiving core over anybody's right now until there's proof, right? But I don't. It's like every year when I draft Mike Evans for fantasy football, everybody's like, "What are you doing?" It's 1,000 yards, man. It's you just go ahead and put that in the win column. That's going to happen every single year, And to J Lo's point, man, no other receiving rooms got two guys that have been the guys for that long, that consistently, that share the responsibility of, if I'm the guy this game, I'm the guy this game, and then you be the guy the next game, and no drama. They just go out, do their job, and they're consistent, and they're great at what they do, So
I think a key point is the no drama as well, because it's a wide receiver room. I'll take a couple games missed a year, a couple injuries opposed to drama. Give me 2 to 3 games missed a year opposed to drama. I mean, I've seen somebody say they'd rather have the Detroit Lions wide receiver room over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I was like, what the hell are we talking about now? And then I got called a homer for saying, I'm like, no. First of all, I said you shouldn't lose sleep at night. It's an argument. The Bucs are debatably better. I think they're better than the Eagles. Definitely the Cowboys, probably the Eagles too. But, nothing to lose sleep over. It's not like you're saying, oh, man, the Panthers have one of the best wide receivers. That's something to lose sleep over, right? The Bucs are easily debatable, if not the best. And then the Lions, it's like, yeah, you got Amon-Ra St. Brown, and sure, Jamison Williams had a nice flash in the pan season, but who the hell knows he's going to keep it up? Who the hell knows he's not going to be gambling and suspended? I mean,
right. Well,
Well,
go on, Zach.
I was gonna say Amon Ra is that dude, right? He's legit. But then it's a bunch of wide receiver threes, right? I don't even think they have a clear wide receiver two. I wouldn't call Jameson a wide receiver two. He's that guy that's going to take the top off. You know what I mean? He's not the guy that's going to go over the middle and move the sticks. That's Amon Ra's kind of doing the wide receiver one and the wide receiver two role. And then there's just a bunch of other guys. I wouldn't put them over the Eagles. Hell, I'd probably put the Cowboys over them just because Pickens can be that guy.
And I'd probably put the Vikings over them too, only
Absolutely.
because if Addison keeps his head on his shoulders, they're going to turn into a good, well, they already are a really good one too, So
well, you can't forget L.A. with Puka and Devontae,
and
So-
I know
played
that
together yet either. That's another
Right,
team
exactly.
too. Another group.
and to both your guys' points, that's why the Pickens love, if he's that great, the Steelers need all the offense of the world, as Pops text into the show. Keep the hate coming from the public on the Bucs. Their culture thrives on it. The bigger the chip, the better odds to make the Super Bowl. And I agree with that. But the point is, Steelers, who need all the help in the world, and it's not like they had awful weapons, right? But in the wide receiver room, they needed an alpha. And what did they do? They went out and upgraded. They said, Pickens, you're nice, but we're going to go get DK Metcalf. Thank you very much. And oh, by the way, Pickens, we're going to ship you off for I think the Steelers did very good in that trade, and I'll leave it at that. And the Steelers locker room that thinks they did pretty well too. And the Cowboy, I'm just going to put it like this: nothing against Pickens, a player, nice player, but that's a total typical Dallas Cowboys move right there. You're trading for a guy who, I don't know. I'm just saying, once CD Lamb and him both aren't getting the ball at once. God bless. That's another thing. Evans and Godwin, not prima donnas. McMillan only 1 year in, doesn't seem like a prima donna. Ibuka seems like, he was at Ohio State. He had Marvin Harrison, Jabari competing with him. So, but speaking of compete, anyone have last words on that before we get to the schedule?
I was just going to say about Ibuka, the Bucs said they would have drafted him in 23 if he would have came out. So it sounds like he was that draft day crush, just for his character, regardless of position.
I agree, and Jason Light loves that, and that's what I think he does really well. Is he doesn't get distracted by could-be's and potentials. His guys and his team's guys are the ones he goes with, and that's very important. And he's been very vocal about that the past couple of weeks. Specifically, our guy Brian Crook, B-Rabbit, says who day. He's a Bengals fan, so checking in, Bengals Nation in the house. Thank you, Scary Poppins. We appreciate that. We'll get the sub back to you, Scary. So
yeah, that's my boy. That's my boy. Dudes and Monsters pod. If you guys are into gaming, go give him a like and a subscribe. He's a good dude.
I know a lot of people who do like gaming, so we'll be sure to point him in that direction greatly. Thank you very much, Dude's a Monster. Scary Poppins, that's for sure. Speaking of scary, Gruden, Chucky did the Bucs schedule release. We're going to get into the video itself here in a little bit, but in terms of overall schedule, we're going to go over it here shortly. Schedule release, one of those critical points in the NFL offseason, which really gets the blood going, guys. We're going to go through the schedule here, then we're going to ask a plethora of questions behind it. Oh, Lord, oh, goody. I think it's going to be a very fun schedule, a very fun year for the Buccaneers. Cue the music. Let's get it going. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Your Tampa Bay Buccaneers schedule for this season. Preseason, week 1, Tennessee Titans at home. Preseason, week 2, Zach's neck of the woods, Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. Preseason week 3 to close it out. I hate this. Buffalo at home, but then you play them again regular season. I'm not a fan. That's the last time that happened was like over a decade ago for the Bucs. So not a fan of that. Zach, brief thoughts on Bucs preseason play?
I'm excited to play in Pittsburgh, so I'm going to go up and be able to see that game. So I'm excited about that. Buffalo twice preseason, regular season is weird. Like I couldn't digest that one last night. But preseason is preseason. I'm looking forward to seeing some guys get on the field and have some fun watching some preseason ball.
And it's going to preseason's honestly one of the better games to go to. A, the ticket's a little cheaper. B, you don't care if they win or lose. C, if you're a memorabilia guy, the autographs and game used items come at a premium because the rosters are 90 men. The main stars aren't playing the whole game, so they're more fun with the crowd. So I do love the preseason. And if I go to one, it will be Pittsburgh. So if I do that, I'll let you know, Mr. Zach. J-Lo, thoughts on the Bucs preseason? Tennessee and Buffalo at home, sandwich in between by a road date with Pittsburgh.
I mean, I like it besides the Buffalo. I agree with y'all, too. It's just weird that we're already playing the regular season. Why give us Buffalo in the preseason? But going to Pittsburgh will be fun. I always enjoy watching these rookies, undrafted ones, going out there and ball out. So, coming for the preseason, I'll be digging deep into that whenever it starts on these players that we're looking at.
Yeah, and preseason's usually about proximity. We usually get a Florida team, but I got a little hint they didn't want to give us Liam I mean, we always get the Jaguars, and suddenly that game's left off the schedule. So, the NFL's all about storyline, so they'll probably save that one for a regular season date down the road in a season or two. Regular season time, week 1, 1 o'clock Eastern. At Atlanta, week 2, Monday Night Football. This is part of a Monday Night Football doubleheader. This is 7 o'clock Eastern at Houston, week 3. Home opener against the Jets, 1 o'clock Eastern, week 4. Eagles, seems like we always get them in the fall, September 28th, 1 o'clock Eastern. Week 5 at Seattle, 4:05 Eastern kickoff there on October 5th. Week 6, October 12th. Another home date with San Fran, 1 o'clock Eastern. Another Monday Night Football game the following week in week 7, October 20th on the road in Detroit, 7 o'clock Eastern. Again, our 2 Monday night games this year are actually part of doubleheaders, the early game and the late game. I kind of like those early, late splits. The Saints week 8 battle, I was pissed. I thought we had the bye week. I'll be in California, but I'll be at a sports bar watching that one. My future sister-in-law is getting married at 4:05 Eastern. Then the damn bye week comes week 9. Sheesh. Then New England. I'll be there November 9th, 1 o'clock Eastern. Week 10. Week 11, double Buffalo repeat. November 16th on the road, 1 o'clock Eastern. Ugh. This is a vaunted stretch. Then the following week at the Rams. November 23rd, Sunday Night Football. Week 13, Arizona. Week 14, New Orleans. Those are both 1 o'clock Eastern at home. Week 15, Thursday Night Football at home against Atlanta. Week 16 on the road against Carolina. There's rumors that it changed from 4:30 Eastern to 1 o'clock Eastern already, so we'll get the details on that. December 28th at Miami. Christmas fun, couple days after Christmas, 1 o'clock Eastern there. And then the New Year's game, January 3rd or 4th, to be announced against Carolina at home. So we're going to start with you, Zach. Which game? You're like me. You're a Bucs fan who's not in the area, so every game is a road game for you. Which Bucs games are you circling, home or away? Which are you rounding the wagons for?
Oh man, well, definitely doing Carolina. Yeah, we already talked about that. The only issue with it being so late in the year, I got to watch weather because we will be driving down for it. So hopefully we get. I'm okay with cold. Hopefully there's no ice, so we can make it. So definitely want to do that. I'm going to do a home game. I'm just not sure yet which one. But I tell you, I'm really excited about it starting off in Atlanta. I feel like we owe them a punch in the throat. So I feel like the guy's been kind of sitting on that double loss last year when both of those games should have been wins. And we had some injuries, especially in that second one. And now we've got a little bit more depth in some critical positions. So I feel like we owe them one. And even Houston, like Houston got us last 2-3 years ago. Yeah.
I feel like we never play Houston good.
Yeah. So, we're starting it off pretty hot with guys that even the Jets. I always think about that Geno Smith game where Levante pushes them out. And so kind of started off with some retribution games there. Detroit is one that I like to do. It's going to depend on ticket prices, man. From what I'm hearing so far is that they are ridiculous. So that may not happen. Buffalo is a possibility. It's only like a 4-hour drive, so we might suit up for that. But yeah,
And Buffalo's not too late in the year where it's like, oh man, you're gonna have
right.
to maybe, November's that perfect time right there. I'll probably see you in Carolina. I think I'm gonna head to that. Like I said, Pittsburgh's a possibility if I decide to do a preseason one. I'm a fan of the Jets, Matt. That intrigues me as well because it's not a familiar opponent. I kind of like going to those unique type games, the ones
Yeah.
that they don't happen to play a lot. And B, as you said, retribution needed. C, I had one thing right. I had the Jets as a Bucs home opener. I just had that coming week 1 instead of week 3. So, Justin Fields, Aaron Glenn, that regime intrigues me over there. So I like all the games you point out. Obviously, to me, no bad game to circle right now on the schedule, but I think all that's intriguing. I definitely do. Buffalo 4 hours away, though. That might be the one, and we owe them retribution. It seems like they're always kicking our butt lately.
Yeah.
Thursday night football, remember the Hail Mary that was, man, it was that close a couple of years back on Thursday. I mean, we did get the best of them in overtime in 2021, but we've lost back-to-back years or back-to-back matchups against them now. All those games sound fun, though, so I'm sure we'll definitely cross some paths. I saw Loose Cannons is going to Seattle. Are you going to try making that trek?
It's gonna. There's a lot of factors, but I'd like to. But I think they're talking about maybe adding a second one. So
I saw that. I wonder who it would be, but I'm not sure if you would know. But
yeah, it's Buffalo. They're contemplating adding Buffalo, which would work out perfect for me. But Seattle, I don't know, man. It's a long flight. I can't find. I looked. I couldn't find a flight that was like less than 7.5 hours. They were like brutal, and the one home was even worse. So it's going to depend on a few different things. But if they added Buffalo, I could probably do that one.
and I feel like I love their 2 games planned because they're traveling far. I like that traveling far, right? Check the new stadiums. Happy B-Day, Gracie Cleveland is saying. Godfather checking in. But yeah, Zach, that'd be fun. But Seattle, it's just a hard place to get to, I feel like, It's cool when you make it there, but until then, it's like safe travels and see what happens. But that'll be a fun invasion, and we could use all the fans we can in that type of environment. Remember Mike James jumping touchdown pass there back in the day? That was a fun battle. J-Lo, are you circling any of the same ones Zach is? Or what say you? What games are you trying to attend? I know New England and Carolina are on your radar, the home ones. What else?
Really tough right now. I'm thinking Carolina, absolutely, making my way over there. Try to, hang out with y'all guys for the game. That's one. Arizona at home, that probably be my first one of the year because the Heat and we don't get along, I'm like Danny Glover. I'm too old for this shit with the Heat, so I might wait a little bit. But it depends. I mean, I may change my mind. You never know. But as far as the away game goes, Carolina looks like one in the books. That's something I feel I can make that happen. Houston's, that Monday night one's got my attention. For real, I looked up, airplane, flight prices, like direct flight, 2 hours. I can handle that.
Not a bad flight.
No, not at all. So that's another one I'm thinking about as far as the away game goes. So most likely, knowing me, I'll probably just wait till the Carolina later in the season, depending how we do. I'm just one of the ones I got to see how they start off. If they start off really good, then okay, we'll see what happens. But if not, I'll wait and we'll have fun with it. But the schedule overall is good. I mean, Detroit would be nice, but like you said, it's pricey. I looked into it. I looked at all the away games last night, all of them. I got to say, Detroit's probably one of the most expensive games to go
every
to.
year. Last year when they played there, the prices were, oh my Lord, and the playoff game was insane.
I mean, at that point, yeah, it's great that experience, but I'm not gonna blow my bank account for that. I mean, I'm not gonna. I went to
the Bucs Lions game the year we had Darrelle Revis and he left with injury, and I was actually at the same hotel as the Lions. Believe it or not, funny enough, they were staying in a hotel. I saw Ndamukong Suh over there. I got a picture with C.J. Mosley, not the linebacker, the D lineman. I saw him out and about. I was next to Eric Ebron in an elevator at that time. So it was just a cool little experience. But yeah, Detroit tickets are always mightily expensive. Yes, Cleveland Me says, can't wait for a Bucs at Panthers trip. mixed with Colts San Fran Monday Night Football. So last year, we wanted to up our game. So Pops, Joey, myself, we make really fun road trip plans where we're able to double deck the Bucs and Colts on weekends. Obviously, you need some luck and prime time for that. This year, the one we're circling, Saturday, we'd fly out to Carolina. We'd go to Bucs, excuse me, Bucs Panthers on Sunday. And then Monday morning, we'd fly to Indianapolis and go to Colts 49ers Monday Night Football. Tuesday, head home. So that would be a lot of fun. A lot of traveling right before the holidays, but a lot of fun. That's one we got our eye on. We're going to Bucs Patriots in Tampa because we're going to start the day watching some Colts Falcons in Germany at the bar, and then we're going to head over to the Bucs game there. So that'll be fun. And then me and the boys are hitting week 18 home against Carolina for sure as well. That'll be a tremendous time. Dangerous, fun weekend in store ahead. And then
Danger zone, baby.
that'll be a great time. And then in the early, I'm going to try and get to one game early because all three of those games are week 10 or later. So I'm going to try and do one week 5, one or before. But really, there's a lot of great possibilities. I'll probably be at both Bucs Panthers games in week 16 and 18. Bucs Patriots for sure. And then we'll see what else happens. But Zach, I'll ask you this next. Most dreaded stretch in the Bucs schedule, in your opinion? They have a couple tough stretches, but I'm going to let you speak first on what you think might be the toughest.
Oh, man. I think it could be Philly, Seattle, San Fran, Detroit, and then the Saints. Not because the Saints are better than us. It's just it seems like every year we have like a little bit of a struggle mentally. Like they're more of a physical team than we are, and it seems like it takes something to kind of spark the team to kind of rally. Like Mike Evans has to punch Lattimore in the face or something to get the team going. But that could be a brutal stretch, man. The Eagles are going to be tough. I mean, they're obviously the defending champs. Seattle's it's a long flight. It's all the way on the West Coast. San Fran, we always struggle with Shanahan. We just don't seem like we have the equation to solve that guy. And then Detroit, Detroit's tough. Now they're going to have new coordinators on both sides of the ball, so maybe that plays a factor into it. But it's tough. I think that's going to be tougher than the Bills and the Rams because that's really not as many good teams stacked up in a row because you got New England, Buffalo, LA, and then the Cards. So I think it's definitely Philly, Seattle, San Fran, and Detroit.
So that bye week comes at the perfect time, is what you're saying, pretty much.
Absolutely.
Maybe maybe a week earlier, but hey, it's not at a bad time at all. And that is a very vaunted stretch. And we got breaking news: 500 subs. It looks like. So great job, Zach, J-Lo, and the team for getting to 500. Looks like Cooper Blakey says he was our 500. So that's incredible stuff right there. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thank you very much. We're on our march to 1,000. That's our goal. 1,000 would be 500 was our pre-goal. Now we're up to 1,000, and we've been making tremendous waves. So thank you, everybody. If you're watching right now, hit that like button, turn that notification bell on, and please subscribe to our YouTube. It's a really big help. And then it also helps you keep in the loop whenever we go live. It's a great time turning the notification bell on. J-Lo, are you in agreement with the great Bucs by 30, Zach, about the hardest stretch of the schedule?
I mean, he made valid points. He really did. I mean, it's very tough. But to me, I mean, after the bye week, yeah, you got New England, which should be a dub. You never know, when it comes to the Bucs. But going back-to-back to Buffalo, LA, depending how that goes, if you start losing back-to-back games, then you got Arizona, and God knows how good or bad they're really going to be. We don't know. Because they did finish pretty strong during the season. And, Kyle Murray, when he's healthy, he does give defenses fits. So we don't know how that's going to go. But then again, you go back to, like Zach mentioned, going to Seattle, cross-country. You come home, play the Niners, who tend to have our number. Then you go back to Detroit, back to New Orleans. Even though New Orleans is New Orleans, but, they've been a thorn in our behind. So it's hard to pick. So I'm gonna go with my gut instinct and go where Zach went. You know, going across the country, come back home to play the Niners, and you go back to Detroit. That's gonna be pretty tough. And then plus having Philly before all that happens, it's a 1 o'clock game, which I don't understand. You know, you have a 1 o'clock game in the heat because it screwed us over last year when we went to Atlanta and we lost that game because the plays were gassed. Let's be honest. It was a game we had and the team got gassed. Because you're playing in 90 to 100-degree weather against Philly. You dominated. You beat the crap out of them. Shout out to that. But then a few days later, you go to Atlanta in a close game and we lost because the team got gassed. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, well, and that's part of the, reason why things like that could happen, and that's part of the beauty of football, right? What one week you could have that happen, another week you could win a game you shouldn't. It's all about stealing the victories, winning ones you shouldn't. That's how you really elevate yourself. I do think that's a really hard stretch. I'm gonna not honor another one, but I'm gonna talk about another one briefly. I think it's tough to open the year back to back on the road at Atlanta, at Houston, and one being prime time. The Bucs never seem to be great on prime time either. One at a place where the Bucs struggle with at Atlanta, so that stretch can't be overlooked to me. The first 2 weeks, and then you do get the one nice thing is you get an extra day of rest against Houston because it's on Monday Night Football week 2. So after physical week 1 battle with Atlanta on the road, you do get an extra day to recover, which is really nice. But then on the flip side, you only have 6 days of rest heading into your home opener. And if somehow, I don't think it happens, I think Bucs go 1-1 or 2-0 to open. But say, God forbid, you go 0-2, that puts a lot of pressure on you heading 6 days of rest into week 3. So I'm going to agree with you guys. So I think the hardest overall stretch of the year is definitely that Philly to Detroit spot in terms of totality. Honorable mentions are the first 2 weeks, and then Buffalo, LA is a very tough back-to-back. You got to travel all the way to Buffalo, then all the way to LA. But in terms of length and totality, I don't think anything gets past that 4-game stretch of Philly, Seattle, San Fran, Detroit. I know Seattle and San Fran didn't make the playoffs last year, but Seattle had a 10-7 record. San Fran got some bad injuries. That to me is the hardest 4-game stretch in totality. We have 4 primetime games, guys. Time to rank them in terms of not what you think is going to be the best game, but what excites you the most. Anything's a factor, whether it's a night, whether it's the opponent, whether it's the time of season it takes place. Our 4 primetime games are as followed. Week 2, Monday Night Football doubleheader, game 1 against Houston, 7 o'clock Eastern on the road. That's week 2. Then we also have Sunday Night Football with the Rams, week 12 on the road. That'll be a lot of fun. Then we have a Detroit Monday Night Football road game, week 7, game 1 of a doubleheader as well. And then we also have Thursday Night Football home against Atlanta, week 15. Schedule quirk. I know times could change, but that's our only home game that's not a 1 o'clock Eastern Sunday game. It's Thursday Night Football against Atlanta. So once again, we have 4 primetime games. Week 2, Monday Night Football doubleheader, game 1 at Houston. Week 7, Monday Night Football doubleheader, game 1 against Detroit. Week 12, Sunday Night Football on the road in LA. And week 15, Thursday Night Football home against Atlanta. Zach, in terms of excitement, rank these primetime games 1 through 4, brother.
Oh, man, I'm going to go Rams 1, Detroit 2, Houston 3, and Atlanta 4. The only reason I got Atlanta 4 is because they're division. We play them all the time. So it doesn't have kind of the same rivalry as the others do. We owe LA an ass whooping. So I'd like to see that, especially like to see it on primetime. Detroit is just another good solid team, and Houston is not real excited about Houston, so I got them ranked that way. I will say primetime games do make me cringe a little bit just because of where I live. Most people only see the Bucs on primetime, so when they usually come out and shit the bed on primetime, I got to hear about it like, oh, your team looked awful last night, but they don't watch the games that we win at 1 o'clock because they can't see them. So primetime games always have me a little bit more on edge just because I know I'm going to have to hear it at work the next day.
No, that's a very good point. Besides the Eagles Monday Night Football playoff game, I really can't remember a really clean cut primetime ass. They're always a struggle. If we win, it's barely. If we lose, some of them get ugly. It's just you could remember some of the biggest clunkers of the Bucs past decade. Many of them have came primetime or international time slots.
Wasn't the Falcons game where we were like 56 to whatever? Wasn't that a primetime game?
Lovie Smith, Thursday Night Football, 2014 in the fall. I remember that. I literally kicked my phone and it ended up face first shattered, so that wasn't cool. But yeah, I remember Levante was crying, pleading, "Come on, guys, let's play harder, man, let's go."
Yeah, I had to take PTO the next day at work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because at least by Monday everybody kind of forgets about it, but day after it's like, oh.
Yeah,
you're going to get reamed out there for sure, man, for sure. But no, I agree. I think I like your ranking, Zach. J-Lo, what say you? How you ranking the top 4 primetime games?
Tough one. To me, LA is number 1. For some reason, McVay, he owns us. I'm sorry, he does. I mean, truthfully, he just knows how to just deplete our defense. So that's number 1. Probably the L I think we're going to get out of the 4, if you ask me. Number 2, I feel Detroit. Detroit, we gave them a hell of a game last year. I think we could do it again and beat them in their house on prime time. And then number 3, Houston. I feel that's a game where we owe them an ass whooping. We owe them to give them the L because that was a game we had and our defense shit the bed. And I feel like week 2, our defense will be healthy, and I feel like we'll pull out a victory on a Houston team that I felt kind of slid down the grid a little bit last year compared to the, Stroud's rookie year. Then for Atlanta, I don't understand what the primetime games are about. Atlanta's Atlanta. They're going to Falcon again. They're going to blow another season. Atlanta fans, you can put whatever you want in Michael Penix. Congratulations. But there's more to it than just Michael Penix. It's chemistry, which he does not have, I feel, with this team. So
let's freaking bite Buccaneers, fire the damn cannon, says Buck 78. But I'm gonna go a little different route, and I agree. You two have the same exact 1 through 4, which is awesome, and I like that. But just to play devil's advocate, I'm gonna go different. Hear me out. I'm gonna go Houston number 1 because of how early it is in the year. To me, that's a statement game when it's that early on in the year. And whether you win or lose, it's a statement game. Because if you win and then you go on Monday Night Football against a playoff team like Houston and you start 2-0 and you win in front of the world, it's going to open up a lot of eyeballs. But if you lose, you go to Houston, you start 0-2, it's going to make a lot of people panic. So I think it's going to be a very big early test for this Buccaneers team. Going to have a ton of eyeballs on it. And I think it's going to have a lot of intrigue. By the way, it's the first early doubleheader Monday night we've had in years now as well to add more intrigue to it. So I'm excited with that one being early in the year. I'm going to put that number 1. I agree with the Rams being high up there. I'm going to put that one number 2. I think that adds a lot of intrigue. We lose a lot to the Rams during Thanksgiving-ish, not on Thanksgiving, during Thanksgiving-ish. So, holiday time always adds a little more fun, always adds a little more eyes to it. We struggle with LA immensely. Could we get over the hump? Primetime Sunday Night Football. Can't wait. Number 3, I'm actually going to put Thursday Night Football with Atlanta, only because, like I said, only game that's not 1 o'clock Eastern at home all year, so it adds a little home fun element. Thursday Night Football at home is always a fun feeling, and it's our last home game before the Christmas. You'll probably see a couple St. Nicholases in the crowd, in the stands that day. Good old St. Nick going to be there for the good people. And nothing wrong with Detroit. I'm just putting them 4 just simply because we've been playing them so much lately. I feel like every year we pretty much do, but that's kind of garnering a fun little rivalry as well. So it could be any flip end of the coin, but I just think that's going to be a tough one to win. Not saying it'll be impossible, and I think we do win, but yeah, I don't think it'll be easy. As David Castle likes us on Facebook and is tuned in as well. Shout out to Dave for tuning in. Now, quickly, we're not going to talk about the games. Just simply say win or loss. We're going to do a quick pick record on the season. J-Lo, week 1 at Atlanta, win or loss?
W.
Zach, win or loss week 1?
I'm going win.
I'm going win as well. Week 2, Houston. What say you, J-Lo?
Dub.
Zach?
Same win.
I'm going with the win. Houston doesn't really scare me this year. Zach or J-Lo, I'm sorry, week 3, Jets.
W. Easy.
Zach?
Yeah, I'm going to say a win as well.
Same with me. Week 4, J-Lo, Eagles come to town.
Loss.
Zach?
Yep, loss.
Gonna go with the win. Gonna think the Eagles are slipping a little bit there. I got to start at 4-0. J-Lo at Seattle. That's a tough place to play.
Lose. I just feel West Coast. That's gonna be that one game we shit the bed on. Lose.
Zach?
I'm going to go win, and only because the Loose Cannons do a stadium tour, and I know Stank's going to put his feet all over that stadium on the inside and put that juju out there. So I'm going win.
I love that. I'm gonna go my first L of the year there, not because of Stank's feet blessing, but more so because of I just feel like that's a time zone area we could 4:05 Eastern in Seattle, tough place to play, could be a little bit tough. So right now, I got us 4-1, J-Lo 3-2, Bucs by 34-1. J-Lo home against San Fran the following week.
W. Finally beat the fucking Niners and we win at home. That's all I gotta say.
Zach?
Man, I want to say win, but fuck it. Win.
I think this is the year we finally get over the Niners hump as well. So we got a clean sweep. Kind of scary, but we'll go with that. Monday Night Football at Detroit. J-Lo?
W. I think we'll win again in their house.
Zach?
I got this down as a loss.
I got this one down as a loss as well. I just think it's going to be a tough not saying impossible game to win, but one of the harder ones to me. J-Lo, before the bye, we got the Saints.
W. Awesome W.
Zach?
Wonderful.
Yeah, I got to win on this.
Sorry, my bad, Zach.
Matt Hardy?
Yeah.
I'm going win as well. And then bye week, at least we can't lose that week. And then home against New England out of the bye, J-Lo?
W. We're undefeated, baby. I'm with the Ariella family. We're undefeated.
Yeah, we are. We're 2-0. Titans and Raiders wins. We ain't losing this one. Zach, New England at home?
Yeah, it's a win.
I got it as a win as well. I'll get it done with, I think, Buffalo's an L, sadly, in Buffalo. I'll go ahead and start that one. J-Lo?
Loss.
Zach, are you completing the loss sweep?
Yeah, I got a loss here.
Tough place for the Bucs, tough time of the year. J-Lo at Rams, Sunday Night Football.
And that's where the tables had turned, and the Bucs were going to win in L.A. in a very close one against McVay.
Zach?
I got a loss here.
I sadly have a loss as well, just based on history and travel. Hard to say an L back to back, but it is what it is. J-Lo, Arizona at home.
W.
Zach?
Oh, man, I'm going to go with a loss. We always have one of these games a year where we feel comfortable, like we're going to get right, and then something happens, and we don't. So I'm going to put a loss here.
I don't blame you. There is always one clunker game a year. It's just hard to predict. Last year was Denver, right?
Right.
I'm going to go win, but that one does scare me a little bit. J-Lo, Saints at home the following week.
This is where I feel when Zach mentioned that one game where we shit the bed. I think New Orleans will be the one that upset us. For some fucking reason, we suck at home against the Saints.
Zach?
I got a win here. I feel you, J-Lo, but man, they don't got anybody in that quarterback room that really puts any fear of God into anybody. So
No, I'm with you. I
yeah,
hope that's the case, but you never know. It's the Buccaneers way. You
yeah,
gotta
we
lose to a backup, a 13 quarterback. You never
have one
know.
of those 6 turnover games, right? Something
Right.
ridiculous. But yeah, I feel you.
I'm going with the win there as well. I got my clunker coming against Thursday Night Football, Atlanta. Short week's rest, divisional battle. I think Bucs will be riding high off back-to-back wins against the Cardinals and Saints at home. And this is typical. Then Falcons win this one. All the media will be saying, "Watch out for Atlanta." Then the Bucs will win 3 in a row to end the year and really make ends meet well. So I'm going loss here on Thursday night. Zach, Thursday night Atlanta at home.
I'm going win just because my anxiety can't take another loss to the Falcons. So
Love it, J-Lo.
W. Clean sweep. Sweep them MFers out of here.
So we all have different.
Wise up.
We all have different clunkers again. That's a home stretch where they would have one though, right? Because it's 3 teams that could happen against. I'm going win on the road in Carolina. If we go, we ain't losing. Zach, what say you?
same W.
J-Lo?
Undefeated, baby. Every little family. We're gonna win that one too in Carolina. Bam.
Miami on the road. Zach, December 28th.
I'm gonna put that down as a dub.
I love it. J-Lo?
W all day.
Yeah, I'm gonna say win as well, and then I got a win finishing out the regular season. But if that game doesn't mean anything, I could see them maybe playing some backups. But I'll go with a win. Zach, how about you?
Man, I'm gonna say we got the division wrapped up at that point, and we're sitting Bake and Mike and Chris because Mike got 1,000 yards in week 12, so we got an L there because Trask had been holding that clipboard all year and he just didn't bring it for Carolina at home. So
I feel that I was thinking about doing the same. J-Lo, close us out.
Dub. Once again, with Tones undefeated at home, no matter who's at quarterback, no matter who's in that receiver. W, baby.
So final predictions. We all have different, which is cool. J-Lo leads the way. He has the Bucs 13-4 on the season.
love it.
I have the Bucs at 12-5, and Bucs by 30. Zach has it 11-6. So all pretty damn good. I think that's their window. 10 to 13 wins.
Yeah.
Probably more in the 11 to 12 mark, but I think 10 to 13 is their window. Guys, quickly, we all know it's fun, and we're going to revisit. We're going to have a full show dedicated. This is just a way too early predictions. Once, preseason hits and all that, we're going to do this all over again where we actually go in depth after the rosters are announced and all that fun stuff. But quickly, J-Lo, schedule release videos, doubleheader question. Did you like the Bucs and any others that you loved or hated out there that you might have seen?
I mean, you can't go wrong with Gruden, Chucky. I mean, I really haven't checked the other videos out because I don't care for them. I thought John Gruden was icing of the cake, just the way he did the video, pure gold. I mean, after everything that's happened to him and the organization, they brought him back in to do the schedule release. I don't care for any other team, whatever. I feel the Bucs handled it really well, and Gruden just made it 10 times entertaining in there describing. So that was just pure gold.
And any other ones or not really?
Honestly, not really, no. I mean,
I don't blame you. They're
I don't
hard.
care for the other teams. I just care about my Bucs.
Hey, I love that mentality. The Colts had to delete theirs, but Tyreek Hill said he even laughed at it. So funny stuff there. Zach, did you like the Bucs one with Gruden unboxing? For those unfamiliar, kind of a thing over the past 6 months, teams will send Gruden boxes of equipment and swag in the mail. He'll open them up. So the Bucs did that as theirs. And Zach, any other teams catch your eye?
I'm like J-Lo. I didn't really watch anything. I saw on Twitter, somebody did Minecraft and there was a Pokemon one or whatever, but I didn't watch them. I appreciate what they were going for with the Gruden one because of the unboxing. I'm probably in the minority here. I didn't love it. First of all, it was not in order. which, as somebody with OCD, really drove me crazy that he was just sporadically pulling things out of the box and talking about them. Gruden's energy can come off cringe a little bit sometimes. So I didn't, like I said, I wasn't over the moon about it. And I don't really like when the social media team for the Bucs kind of takes the ball out of their hands and gives it to somebody else, because they smoked that throwback video when they brought the creamsicles back that year, man. That social media splash they did was fire. So I was hoping they would do something, in that vein and not what they went with. But I get it. Gruden's hot, right now with that unboxing stuff. So like I said, I appreciate what they were going for. Just wish it would have had a little bit more continuity to it.
Yeah, I didn't hate the Gruden thing, but I think the hype was almost cooler, right? Where they dropped the box off the doorbell ring. I think it built up a lot of hype, and not that it failed. One thing I did love about the Gruden video, he was sharing a lot of informational tidbits about the history, dropping a lot of hints. So that was cool. Usually other teams have some funny stuff happen. He was actually dropping informational hints and tidbits. So I did think that's cool. I was at AEW wrestling last night. We're the best wrestlers, but so I didn't really get to watch a lot of the schedule release videos. I'm not really gonna lie. I heard about the Colts thing, but Tyreek said he had no problem with it. So other than that, yeah, I've seen the Brenda Song one, like Richard is saying, and then I didn't see the Chargers super fan one, but like Richard said, Brenda Song, never bad to look at. NFL schedule release, though, guys. Christmas days, Friday nights, Thanksgiving. J-Lo, name one non-Bucs game on the schedule that you love just as a pure football fan.
I gotta say, truthfully, the Chiefs at Cowboys. I feel if that stays healthy, I feel like it'll be a fun game to watch. It will get my attention. Because Thanksgiving, you're drinking, you're eating early, watching Detroit and Green Bay play. I feel that would be pretty fun to watch, even though we're all tired of the Chiefs winning it all and all that stuff. And glad they lost in the Super Bowl the way they did. But I feel that would definitely be entertaining on Thanksgiving.
Zach, I think you're going to go with the Pittsburgh game, but could be wrong. But what say you? What's one game that's catching your eye that's not a Tampa game?
Yeah, probably the Pittsburgh game, just because of the connection I have there. I just want to touch on something real quick. Chris Cole a minute ago, that previous comment said the Bucs should have had former players in the video, and that's what I was going to say. Is with it being the 50th, they should have brought back dudes from all different generations to do the schedule release and had something like real cool like they did with the throwback. So that's my only criticism about that. I love Gruden and all of the stuff that he did, but with it being the 50th and the social media group that we have, I really thought they could have, went wild with it. But
could you imagine too, like when he does his unboxings now and has his, co-workers or whatever stepping in, if he had like randomly you look, it's like, oh man, this is a year, and then Cam Braid's to the right, or and then they could have got really, not that it was awful, but could have done a little more. As our guy John says, I'm subscriber 501 Pelagic Computer. We love that. We're more than halfway to 1,000. We're on the climb, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
That's for sure. But I like your answers there. We're gonna go with wait, Zach, did you give your one non-Bucs game you love?
Yeah, the Steelers one.
Yep. I'm gonna go with I haven't really thought about it too much, but I'll say this. As I said, haven't really looked at the schedule all too much. I think the Thanksgiving night game, which I'm glad it's not the Bucs game first and foremost, but I think it's going to be a very fun, intriguing game, and it's going to be Cincinnati and Baltimore. Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Thanksgiving night. I think that's a lot of intrigue when you're like half passed out on the couch with a belly full of food and beer. Oh, man, going to be awesome. Richard wants the all pewter unis back. Little Birdie. Yeah, we do. Little Birdie says we might get creamsicle away unis, though. We'll see if that becomes the case. But all pewter unis would be awesome. 3 teams got 0 primetime games, Zach. Cleveland, Tennessee, New Orleans. What's your thoughts on that quickly?
Deservingly so.
The only I would have maybe gave Tennessee a Thursday night one to show off Cam Ward, maybe. But, it's not like they deserve it. So I do agree with you there. But, yeah, if Shador or Gabriel are starting later in the year for Cleveland and they're playing good somehow, maybe flex them into one. But they got it right, for sure. J-Lo?
No, I couldn't agree more on those three. Like I mentioned earlier, Atlanta against sits doesn't add up to me. I don't see what the hype is behind what they got going on. I just want to throw that out there. They should be at maybe 2 or 3 at best, but sits over us, no.
Well, now it's weird. Think about it, too. Not saying they deserve it, but the NFL keeps adding more primetime slots a year, too, right? Suddenly you got Friday night games. Now you got 3 Christmas games. You have a lot more standalone time slots. So, not that I'm saying they're deserving by any means, but it's kind of a random pick 'em now who gets more. And some of them get lucky based on who they're playing. You're playing the Chiefs and you're a pretty good team. Prime time. You're playing the Cowboys. You're a pretty good team. Prime time. So some of it just falls victim to being so many damn primetime games needing to be filled now. And if you have 3 teams shut out, that means you only got 29 teams spanning every single primetime game. Sadly, you're going to get a lot of repeat and overkills. And not saying it's the right thing to do or deserve, but it's hard to make a schedule. And, it's even harder when you got Friday nights in Brazil and Sundays in Germany and Sundays in Madrid.
I mean, let's face facts. If really wants the Giants play a Monday Night Football game or a primetime game, let's be real here. They got 3 primetime games?
I mean,
it's a huge fan base, though.
The market and the not number one QB, but a first round QB plus the market, that draws intrigue, and I don't think they deserve, but it's about the intrigue. It's about it's like wrestling. What's going to get clicks? What's going to get views? Is the deserving wrestler going to be in every main event? No. The guy who gets the views are. And, as Zach said, the Giants, the Jets, their market's big enough where not that they deserve the primetime games, but they're going to get the primetime games opposed to it.
It's the same with Dallas, man. Every year, regardless of how bad they are, they get all the...
They kept us in prime. Remember, Dallas was eliminated last year, and they still kept us in primetime with Dallas.
Yeah.
So great. That was terrible.
Great. Yeah, we laid an egg that game, sadly. We're actually going to NFL hot potato quick. I'm going to come up with one little topic each before we get to Bucs by 30 bracket announcements and final word. We're going to come up with fun ones. Zach, your football topic is this 60 seconds or less. Let's see here. Ronald Jones graduated from USC today. So pretty cool seeing Rojo, former Bucs Super Bowl running back, graduate college today, Zach. Can never forget Rojo being part of the Bucs by 30 Super Bowl team.
Yeah, congratulations to him and his family. It's a tremendous accomplishment. It's nice to see him go back and finish it. Unfortunately, his football career was not, very long. But I think did he win another Super Bowl with Kansas City after he left? No, that was the year they didn't. Okay. Well,
no, I think he did.
I thought he did. Wasn't he? Yeah, because he went there with
Or was
J-Walk,
that
right?
the year he lost? No, that's the year after, and then the Rams won it. That's right.
Okay. So, well, he got a Super Bowl and a college degree now. So, good for him. And it's nice to hear good stories like that where they go back and finish it, because a lot of those guys leave early to do good for their families and support their families. So it's nice to see them go back and finish.
Agreed completely. Their heartwarming story. J-Lo, you get a fun one. Let's see. The high school. No, I'm kidding. Cam Hayward message to Steelers fans after offseason. The QB is don't panic. What say you to Steelers fans, J-Lo?
Well, apparently Rodgers is going to be a Steeler. Maybe not now. Maybe not tomorrow. Who knows? Maybe first day of training camp. If he wants to put on, the Steeler uniform, it's up to him. But
no, he's going to skip all that stuff, and then he'll put it on when it's all done.
To me, it's just ridiculous how he's holding the league hostage, in my opinion. But anyway, Clearly, he wanted to go to Minnesota. They told
I
him
mean, in his
no.
favor, though, not to. But look, now the Saints need a QB with Carr. Maybe another spot opens up. You never know. But no, J-Lo, I'm with you.
What cap space? I mean, they keep finding a way to pull a rabbit out of the hat to sign these players. I mean, Riders, you want to go to New Orleans? Be my guest. Go ahead. You want to go to New Orleans and play for a mediocre offensive line and mediocre receiving core? Let's be real. A lot of it's just talented receiver, but concussion guy. I mean, go ahead. By all means, I'm not afraid of you. No one.
And 60 seconds. I know I interrupted, so my
You got me
apologies.
hyped, man.
No, that was me too. That's part of the hot potato. I'll let you talk all next time. But Zach, briefly, once again, mention our bracket. Now that the games are out, you could kind of picture it a little more. What's your idea on Bucs bracket for songs, and what do you envision there?
I don't know. We really got to hash that out, but maybe
Do
something
you think we'd play it pregame, fourth quarter entrance? Where would you like to see the song played?
beginning of the fourth quarter, right? That's where the big games are won and lost in the fourth quarter. You play it then, get the crowd hyped up and ready to go, and get the team, frothing to go out and make a big play. That's kind of where I envisioned it. I like the pregame that they have now is kind of cool with the Pirates theme. They got that video that plays. That's pretty cool. Night games with they even add the lighting to it, so that's really cool. But for a traditional song, I feel like it needs to play going into the first commercial break in the fourth quarter to really get to bring the juice back into the stadium and get the crowd back into it and just help fuel the team for that fourth quarter push.
I love it. And for those interested, we're going to come up with the Buccaneers podcast official Bucs pump up fourth quarter song this year. Last year we did Beer of the Buccaneers. The song we're going to do song of this year, Song of the Buccaneers, and should be the song of the Buccaneers entering the fourth quarter. J-Lo, final word on today's great Buccaneers episode is we will be back Saturday. We'll be back Saturday morning. Final word, J-Lo, on the Buccaneers.
Final word is schedule's out. Time for planning. Time for more excitement. We got, I believe, mandatory minicamp coming up next month. I mean, I'm looking forward to that. Seeing everybody together. It's gonna be fun to watch. Always good chopping up with our guys. Zach, very knowledgeable. Happy to have you on the team. Tones, you're the man. Till next show, go Bucs.
Go Bucs, go Bucs, fire the damn cannons, Bucs by 30. Our guy, what's your final word for the program, sir?
I'm just going to piggyback off what J-Lo said. Start making your plans to get those teams in. We need Bucs fans in Ray J. There's nothing worse than watching a home game on television and seeing way too much colors from the visiting team. We need Bucs fans in those seats. And I did see the Bucs are doing a buyback program to try to encourage that, to keep Bucs fans in the seats. So the team is aware of it, which is nice, that maybe they can step in and try to do something with that. But you go to certain teams, like games like New York, Pittsburgh, when they play in Tampa, man, it's almost like it's a home game for them. So make your plans, get out there. If you do have to sell your seats, try to do a little bit of vetting, get it to Bucs fans. Tones and I, if we lived in the area, man, we'd be there every single week. Sometimes when something's in your backyard, you kind of take it for granted. But the team needs the support, and it's nice to watch a game and it looks like it's a Bucs home game and not a home game for the away team.
I agree completely. If we were there all the time, we'd be there all the time, damn it. But sadly, we don't have millions and millions of dollars to make it happen because airplanes and car rides and tickets, everything are expensive in 2025. When aren't they, though? My final word is it's laughable, some of these reporters. Oh, today Caleb Williams rather play for the Vikings. Yes, if you could pick Kevin O'Connell or Matt Eberflus, if you could pick Justin Jefferson or an old-ass Keenan Allen, don't make stupid reports years later trying to make these players look bad. It's foolish. It's dumb. No rookie QB would rather play for a defensive-minded head coach opposed to a quarterback guru like O'Connell. So that's it. I love most reporters, but sometimes, by God, bite your tongue and let the kid. I mean, you're trying to ruin a great thing that Chicago is going on right now. Ben Johnson is not Matt Eberflus, but fire the damn cannons. Go Bucs. It's been great. Bucs by 30. J-Lo Tampa Tones will be back Saturday morning with Joey Nips. Peace on the other side. Not Zach, though. Zach, congratulations to you, your little one as well for well, not little one anymore, but yours for graduating, my friend. That's
Appreciate
awesome
that.
stuff
Thank
there.
you.
So, J-Lo, happy birthday. Zach, congratulations. And me, I'll worry about that later in life. Until next time, fire the damn cannon.